Que lo que mi gente, what is up? Welcome back to my channel and to another Music of the Americas video. And for today, we'll be covering Dembow Dominicano. Now, I know, a lot of people don't like Dembow, just like they don't like reggaeton, just like they don't like Latin trap. So, for those of you that don't like it, let's just take this video as just an educational video, okay? And for those of you that do like Dembow, enjoy the music. And now, on with the video. In the early 2000s, just as reggaetoneros pushed for mainstream recognition, a movement in the Dominican Republic using fast-paced, fever-pitch Jamaican rhythms was slowly gaining popularity. Dominican dembow has evolved since then, incorporating Brazilian funk and hip-hop's synthesized sounds. Artists such as El Alfa, Chimbala, Lírico en la Casa, Secreto el Biberón, Little Shaq, and El Mayor Clásico have helped lead the movement. While many like to lump the subgenre together with reggaeton, there is definitely a difference. The much higher BPM, sometimes up to 140, as well as the layering of different rhythms in the same song, differentiate dembow music both from its Puerto Rican cousin, reggaeton, and from traditional dancehall. Inspired by the rise of reggae in Espanol and the rhythms popularized by Jamaican artists such as Shabba Ranks, the young generation of Dominicans in the 90s, growing up in the poorest neighborhoods of Santo Domingo, became tastemakers, using whatever they had to make music, learning programs like Fruity Loops with no guidance and finding alternatives to creating specific sounds. Established rappers avoided being associated with demboceros and their producers throughout the early 90s and 2000s, also known as the messy era of dembow. The velocity of the BPM range, which today rarely falls lower than 110 BPM, was not yet perfected. Among the marginalized was DJ Boyo, considered by many as the father of the genre, who created what is considered the first Dominican dembow, titled Mujeres Andadoras, in 1991. DJ Boyo wanted to create reggae in Espanol more suited to the musical tastes where he lived, specifically faster movements and beats.
Yo no quiero pero con las mujeres andadoras. Quiero una chica que me saque. Todo comenzó, andaba por la calle. Me di una jefa, mira con detalle. Yo la miré, de arriba abajo. Dije, esa chica se le puede hacer un coro. Porque yo no soy ningún bobo. Yo la miré y conversamos. La chica andadora me fue engañando. Yo no sabía que era andadora. Que se baja los jevos a todas horas. Por eso ahora que te lo voy a decir. Y el coro que dice, yo no quiero coro con las mujeres andadoras.
When Playero music hit the Dominican scene, DJ Boyo's style became more accepted. With Playero's popularity, the new sound started to find a following in the DR, where Boyo had been prepping the crowd for it. He paved the way for up-and-comers like Secreto, Mr. Meniao, and Doblete y el Croc, aka Los Pepes. When the internet became popular and accessible, urban websites offered no support. This led to the creation of platforms like one created by DJ Topo, La Hora del DJ Topo, a TV show that started in 2005, which subsequently launched the careers of artists such as Secreto, El Famoso Biberón, Mr. Meniao, El Mayor, and most recently Rochi RD. In 2006, the diss track Ando Loco by Los Ando Locos catapulted dembow into the frenzy it would soon become. For 2 straight years, with reggaeton dominating the club scene, the song was a hit nationwide in DR.
Ando loco, ando loco, ando loco, que se preparen que a cualquiera me lo como. Ando loco, ando loco, ando loco, que se preparen que a cualquiera me lo como.
Georgie Chombo no sabe cantar, Georgie Chombo no sabe liriquear, Georgie Chombo váyase a bañar.
Que recojan que nosotros venimos a improvisar. Cojan que nosotros venimos fuerte, venimos caliente. Es que nosotros venimos con el flow de mente, venimos fuerte, venimos caliente. Es que nosotros venimos con el flow de mente.
Shortly after, producers Bubloy and DJ Plano began to add new colors to the recycled fever pitch and bam bam rhythms. Bubloy became known for adding voices and sharp elements in his beats, a style still incorporated today. The 2010s brought in a new era for dembow. DJ Topo highlights the moment the voceros began to travel, like Doblete y el Croc Pepe, transcending Dominican media to becoming the first demboceros to perform on the iconic variety show Sábado Gigante, as the moment Urbano begins to take dembow more seriously.
Se fueron las mujeres porque por ahí anda Pepe.
Rapper Pablo Pidi understood early on what rappers like El Lápiz Consciente would later realize. Pablo Pidi admitted, quote-unquote, there was an unnecessary division among rap and dembow. We had to unite to make it grow. He transitioned to dembow in 2011 with Si Tu Quieres Dembow.
Si tú quieres dembow, yo te traje dembow. A la gente le fascina como yo hago el dembow. Si tú quieres dembow, yo te traje el dembow. A la gente le fascina como yo hago el dembow. Si tú quieres dembow, llama al negro bembón, que bajamos con la rima y también con el flow. Te traemos las mujeres, salimos del callejón. Llama al 199 si te gusta la canción. Pidi Pablo Pidi porque trajo la emoción. Otra vez con DJ Kama haciendo la transacción. La gente que no se quiere, que este es mi primer dembow.
According to Pedro Guzman, who leads music operations for MediaNet Partners, quote-unquote, when the Dominicans started doing their own brand of urban music, it was a lot more raw. It was basically just a beat and vocals. There wouldn't be much harmony, just a drum loop with people shouting over it. And it was gasp for air fast. I interviewed J Balvin 2 years ago and asked if we would hear him in a dembow. He said, look, I don't understand the speed of dembow. It was also said the reason Dominican dembow gallops in speed may have to do with the island's historical preference for uptempo merengue. Dominicans are used to dancing to merengue at incredibly high speeds. In order for dembow to work in the average club, it had to be fairly fast. Bad Bunny took to Instagram Live after his first album dropped and spoke about his love for the Dominican Republic and the ever-growing dembow movement, saying that the genre transmits happiness the same way the native people do. He says, quote-unquote, I was uneasy about the track, Demagagegi Gogu, because I didn't understand the movement. After it was created, I visited the island for the first time and entered a club. My life changed. And I think that happens to a lot of people who aren't familiar with the genre.
Aquí se hace lo que yo diga. Tú eres bueno, pero esto es otra liga. Quítate, no siga. Me rocan y salen palomi. Ropa canísimo, el Lebori con Domi. Ya todos esos culos yo me los comí. Y él es tu doña sin condoni. Me acostumbras al ganador. Lo tengo sin batería y le rompemos el cargador. Tengo el libro trabajando de productor. Pero tranquilo, Jesucristo es mi manejador.
Dembow moved easily from the Dominican Republic to pockets of Dominicans living abroad, most notably New York City. According to Luis Rivera, director of programming for Music Choice, it does well in Philadelphia too and areas like Boston. You saw it get traction in the Dominican communities in Miami and also within Spain.
Me monté con Anaísa, me monté con San Miguel. Écheme agua bendita, porque hoy yo voy a beber. ¡Qué brujería! Hoy yo me guardo una nota, yo me voy a emborrachar. Que mañana no me hablen porquería, no, que una nota me guarda, yo no sé nada. Me monté con Anaísa, me monté con San Miguel, écheme agua bendita, porque hoy yo voy a beber.
Tú no te buscas cuarto ni con la ubicación por GPS. A donde llego hasta los generales están de pie. Tú vives en Bacanón y todos los días andando a pie. Yo sueno en Nueva York en Guachupita y Lavapié. La calle está prendida cada vez que lo que tira. Y las mujeres mueven la nalga como Shakira. A los pariguayos los mandamos a hacer la fila. Tú me vienes a montar pila y ni siquiera te despilas. A mí hay que darme banda de camión. 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 A mí hay que darme banda de camión.
Streaming of dembow tracks on Spotify has increased over 13,000% between January 2014 and August 2019. Still, marquee streaming service playlists are primarily focused on supporting pop-leaning reggaeton. When it comes to video and radio distribution, dembow can face similar challenges. According to Music Choice's Luis Rivera, I have to take into account San Antonio and Chicago, where there are fewer Dominicans than in New York City or Miami. Also, the West Coast is not like New York, where you have Dominicans and Puerto Ricans with the most knowledge of dembow, he says. The majorities here are Mexicans followed by Central Americans, so you gotta break the ice.
Comandante, venga, por favor, denme un chance. Le tengo una gorda porque estaba ya en romance. Yo no me estaba curando con usted. Para con usted, para con usted. ¿Usted cree que yo soy un desacatado? Para con usted, con los periches acotados. Digo comando, usted duro, usted duro, usted duro, usted duro. Digo comando, usted duro, usted duro, usted duro.
Back in the Dominican Republic, the Dominican government's history of banning sexually explicit music hasn't helped with radio play either. The National Commission of Public Spectacles in Radiophony regulates content played on TV or radio and has banned songs by El Alfa, Chimbala, Nene La Amenaza, and La Materialista in the past.
Y lo pateo, y lo pateo, y lo pateo. En la calle ando controlando, ando en un motorcito calibrando, ando, las mujeres me la estoy robando, ando, dime qué es lo que te está pasando. En la calle ando controlando, ando en un motorcito calibrando, ando, las mujeres me la estoy robando, ando, y tú mira, cuando lo pongo en una goma, boom, 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 en una goma, boom, 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 cuando lo pongo en una goma, boom, 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 en una goma, boom, 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 cuando lo pongo en una goma, boom, 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 en una goma, boom, 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 cuando lo pongo en una goma, boom, 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 en una goma, boom, boom, boom.
Tú pensabas que yo me iba a morir, ay hombre, que si no era contigo no iba a ser feliz, ay no. Mueve el pum, 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 mueve el pum.
Hoy salgo para la calle y me voy a poner trucho. Mejor no opine que yo lo que estoy trucho. Si veo a tu chica me la voy a robar. Trucho. Hoy salgo para la calle y me voy a poner trucho. Mejor no opine que yo lo que estoy trucho. Si veo a tu chica me la voy a robar. Trucho. ¿Qué es lo que tú dices?
A wave of female artists such as Mirka La Mastura, La Materialista, and La Insuperable, who owned their sexuality through their music, proved to be an advance for the genre. Similar to other urban movements, Dembow is a male-dominated scene. The lyrics and videos frequently hypersexualize and marginalize women, but these empowered females shamelessly communicated their desires along with their worth. This can be heard in Milka La Mastura's tracks Dale Bang Bang y Yo Quiero un Hijo Contigo. La Materialista continued the trend in 2015 with Chapas que Vibran.
No sé por qué, me dio por robarte. La pepita me ha puesto pa' ti, voy a desacatarme. Voy a desacatarme, voy a desacatarme, la pepita me ha puesto pa' ti, voy a desacatarme. Me dio pa' buscarte, robarte, besarte, oficiarte, amarrarte la cama y la ropa, quitarte, hace de todo lo que hacíamos antes, por tuta de palomo la mataste. Te hace de todo, te hace de todo, tuta de palomo la mataste, te hace de todo, te hace de todo, tuta de palomo la mataste. Pero acelero. Papi, te gustan las chapas que vibran. Papi, te gustan las chapas que vibran. Papi, te gustan las chapas que vibran. Te gustan que vibren. Papi, te gustan las chapas que vibran. Papi, te gustan las chapas que vibran. Papi, te gustan las chapas que vibran. Te gusta que vibren. La materialista. Rompiendo récords.
Today, El Alfa is known as one of the most innovative artists of the genre, testing different sounds in every song he puts out. His 2018 album, El Hombre, peaked at number 4 on Billboard for Latin rhythm albums. The current dembow scene is perhaps the most vibrant and gritty the country has witnessed since its beginnings, with rappers like Rochi RD, Químico, and El Father uniting, uplifting both El Hip Hop Dominicano and dembow. 2020 is bound to be dembow's year. As the new decade begins, it's important to look back at the 10 years that solidified dembow's organic rise and the hurdles it's faced from its own community and native country.
One thing, Nancy.
Jamaica, 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 Jamaica. Prendem no beat, prendem no beat, prendem no beat. Prendem no beat, prendem no beat, prendem no beat. Lo prenden en Jamaica, lo prenden en Nueva York. Tabaco de vainilla, chocolate y de mentol. El dueño de la calle, manito, todo por default. Desacatado en la avenida hasta que salga el sol. Tú quieres ver cómo que yo lo mato. Trabaja más y habla menos boca y pato. De mi boca no se pegan fufurupa. Tiene una polla con el tanque y le tufa. No lo... Ponme la gomita que ya se pone bacana cuando yo la di con trenza. Jálalas para atrás. Ponme la gomita que ya se pone bacana cuando yo la di con trenza. Trenza. Hey, hey.
Bajé con trenza,
Hey, hey.
con trenza bajé.
Hey, hey.
Bajé con trenza,
Hey, hey.
con trenza bajé.
Se deja, dejé.
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 Con trenza bajé. Me quité los tres y con trenza bajé. Dale, mami, tú sabes que es lo que es. Una chula, una mala, ya yo le llegué. Llaman en mi planta con trenza bajé. Va para todos los tiguerones lo que salen sin rumbo. No tengo para alcohol, pero tengo para la jumbo. Mírame la olla, cuidado que te confundo. La pámpara resuena cuando desenfundo. Se convierte en oro todo lo que yo toque. Retén Villa con Nueva York para los bloques. No tengo la perdón que me equivoque. Ando en el aire, fuego a los foques.
Hey, hey.
Bajé con trenza,
Hey, hey.
con trenza bajé.
Hey, hey.
Bajé con trenza,
Hey, hey.
con trenza bajé.
Bueno, mi gente, hasta aquí llegó este video. Hope that you guys enjoyed the video. Don't forget to check out my other Music of the Americas videos if you haven't already, and I'll check you guys in the next video. Bye!